Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Education, SOE, Master's Degree Programs, Master of Arts, Distance Education, MADE, First Year. MD 518 Educational Communication Technologies, Revised Block 3 Content Creation Tools. Unit 15, Creating Materials for the Web.
For the Web 15.0 Introduction. Computers have the capability of two-way communication, simultaneously sending and receiving information to and from other computers. This allows us to set up groups of interconnected computers sharing information. We call them a network. And networks can be connected to each other, allowing, say, your computer, with computers connected to these networks across the globe. This massive network of computers is what is called the Internet. So, when you connect to the Internet using one of the connections provided by an Internet service provider, your computer is connected to their network, which in turn is connected to other networks across the globe. The World Wide Web, WWW, or the web in short, is a huge set of interlinked documents, images, and other resources riding on this network. All this digital information is typically stored on hard disks and other storage devices on each of the computers on the Internet. They are linked to each other through hyperlinks and URLs. So when you launch your browser, say Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox, and type in http://www.ignou.ac.in, you are requesting to view those pages which are stored on a computer, accessed through this address. Each such address is known as a uniform resource locator, URL, a unique address for each page on the web. You can access all those related pages clicking on links, jumping from one page to another. These links are called hyperlinks. These hyperlinks and URLs allow the web servers and other machines that store originals and cached copies of these resources to deliver them as required to users seeking this information. Each group of related web pages and related resources, images, databases, etc., accessed from a URL constitutes a website. For the purpose of this unit, we shall assume that you have access to a computer connected to the Internet. This is because many of the features, applications, and software we will refer to work on the web. Therefore, we suggest, even if you do it occasionally, you should connect to the Internet and try out these features. Further, your understanding of web technologies would depend on your critically viewing, analyzing, and deconstructing a variety of websites. 15.1 Learning Outcomes. After working through this unit, you are expected to be able to times plan for and design a website, times identify tools for creation of web pages, times write basic HTML tags, times create web pages using HTML editors, times integrate media and scripts into web pages, and times use simple and free CMS tools to create a website. Please note that we distinguish between a plan and design on paper and its actual making using various tools and technologies. For this unit, we will restrict ourselves to design on paper, although you will become aware of the tools and technologies and hopefully inspired enough to start learning to use them. 15. To the World Wide Web and integrated media. The web today can function as a container and disseminate a wide variety of digital information, text, pictures, audio, and video, separately or combined together. It would therefore be appropriate to refer to the web as an integrated media, as we mentioned earlier, a thematic collection of information weaved together with a common design and placed on a server, a computer on the Internet which serves digital content in response to a request from a client, say your computer, in the form of interlinked pages and programs is called a website. Also, a website has a unique URL, an address which distinguishes it from other websites. In order to view web pages, you use a software application like Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox. Such software applications are called browsers because they facilitate browsing of the Internet. Browsers are designed to communicate with servers on the Internet, send and receive data, interpret, and display them in a window. With the help of other software applications, called plugins, they are plugged into the browser to enhance its capability, they can play audio or video files, show pictures or animations, or enable filling up and submitting of forms. In the subsequent sections, we will design our own website with some distinct web pages. The purpose of the exercise would be to become aware of the various purposes of web-based dissemination, various possibilities that the web offers and various tools and techniques available on the web to facilitate these activities. 5.2.1 Web pages and websites. The first step in this process is to decide what you want to say. Like any other communication, a website must also have a purpose, a theme, about which it wants to inform its visitors, or users, or readers, or viewers. Let us say you are fascinated by trees and wish to tell the world all about it. You will get yourself an appropriate URL like http://autrees.com, see section 15.4 below. Right now, you are only planning your website. What would you like to inform your visitors about trees? Make a list of all that you want to and categorize them. Perhaps you want to tell them about individual trees. You may want to discuss different habitats and how it influences trees. You may want to talk of the produce and their uses. You may want to talk about cutting down of trees and its influence on the environment. Obviously, each category of information is distinct and will have its own separate section. Each section may even have many distinct pieces of information and may have to be put on separate pages. Say, for instance, you wish to talk of trees on mountains, trees of the plains, trees near water bodies, trees on the sea coast, or trees in a desert. You do not have to complete this task, but it would be useful if you have enough information in each of the sections and pages. Unlike a printed book, a website need not be complete before its publication. You can even add entire sections or delete them as and when you choose. In fact, most websites perennially grow, becoming more and more complex and deep. How does your website now look? You have a main page announcing the theme and perhaps a list of the sections of the site, a kind of cover page and contents page woven together. This page is generally referred to as the home page or the index page. You will realize why it is called so shortly. Each section will have its own page or pages. As the site grows, more and more branches get added and each branch may break further into more sub-branches. A map of all these pages is called a sitemap. Sitemaps of very large websites can be complicated indeed. Many websites have a link named sitemap on their homepage. Click on them and study the organization of content on that website. Are there different ways of organizing content? Does the nature of content on your site have a bearing on the sitemap? Organizing information this way helps you structure your website. Structuring it not only helps you decide where each kind of information goes, but also helps the visitor move around your site easily. 5.2.2 Navigation. How do you browse through a printed document, say a book? You may use the contents page to locate a particular unit or subunit and then use page numbers to locate that particular page. You may also use the index if there is 1. Select a particular keyword or concept and then use page numbers to locate that particular page. The printed book has its organization and moving around is facilitated through the use of page numbers, index of contents, or a contents page. This, of course, is not always the case. In some cases, like in the case of a novel, there may neither be a contents page nor an index. The author expects you to start on page 1 and go through each page, right up to the end. Even this book has an organization, a linear one. In the case of a properly indexed book, you can jump from one section to another at will. The web facilitates this feature through a hyperlink. Clicking with the left button of your mouse on a hyperlink takes you directly to a particular section of the same webpage, or to another webpage, or to a particular section on the second webpage. You do not have to go to an index page to look for the location of the keyword. While this greatly facilitates movement around the web, it has its flip side too. Keeping track of what you clicked and where you have landed is difficult. Many visitors get totally lost, particularly on sites which are very deep, with many levels of pages, or with too many hyperlinks. Facilitating the easy and rapid movement of the visitor to desired information and come back to particular pages from where they started is the purpose of designing a good navigation scheme. Navigation is a feature of the organization of your website. It helps visitors keep a tab on where they are, on which webpage, and what is the relationship of this page to the rest of the website. How is this achieved? 1. A simple structured sitemap. If the site has few levels of pages and unambiguously organized into sections and subsections, the visitor finds it easy to locate oneself on the website. A well-structured site allows you to come back to the first page, the home page. 2. Fewer hyperlinks. Each click on a hyperlink takes the visitor away from the information being viewed. So, unless essential, avoid hyperlinks. This, of course, would be challenging. When you have different levels of visitors, you may find a need to explain each and every concept. If it is only a short meaning, or example, or a definition, a small pop-up window or a tooltip can be used. This helps avoid navigating away from the page. 3. Display an index of contents. On some sites, you notice a column of headings and subheadings always displayed. Each time you select a particular section, that word or phrase may get highlighted, become bold, change color, etc., and the relevant page displayed on the right of this index column. This allows you to go up and down this list, selecting the pages you desire. Different websites use different ways of achieving this objective. 4. Display a "You are here" sign. On some sites, you notice a sign like "Home, types of trees, deciduous, silk cotton" somewhere at the top of the page. Silk cotton refers to the current page. Clicking on each preceding word will take you back one level. If you click on Home, you are back on the home page or the index page of the site. These are called breadcrumbs and display the path from the home page to the current page, enabling easy navigation up this branch. If you have a slow connection to the internet, you would like to shut off the display of graphics and animation. For instance, in Internet Explorer, go to Tools, Internet Options, select the Advanced tab, and under the section titled Multimedia you will find an option called Show Pictures. See Figure 15.1. Click on the checkbox to remove the tick mark and click on the OK button. Now reload the web page you were looking at. Does it load faster? You will notice blank boxes where the graphics or photographs were. You could similarly shut off animation, audio, and video. Look at this situation from the point of view of a web designer. 1. If you want your visitor to access your pages fast, keep its file size small. That could mean smaller file sizes for the media. You have learned this in Units 11, 12, and 13. Smaller number of media elements and a prayer that the visitor has not shut off pictures on his/her browser. 2. Distinguish between messages and decoration. See Figure 15. 2, where A. uses media elements because that is what it wants to show, e.g., this is the structure of the human brain, and B. uses media elements because they look nice, kind. For everything else, like flash animation, audio files, and video files, browsers need installation of special software. They are installed as plugins into the browser. For instance, a QuickTime Player plugin is required to play QuickTime Movies, filename.qt, or a Flash plugin to play Flash or Shockwave files, filename.swf. For the designer web developer, this implies selecting an appropriate technology for each kind of media. This also has implications for server capabilities. See the section 15.4 in this unit. So, you should provide a message like you will need QuickTime Player to view the video on this page. You may also provide a link to the website from where the visitor can download the player. Generally, all media players can be downloaded free. 5.2.4 Static and dynamic websites. In order to understand the concept of static and dynamic pages and their utility, let us consider a case study. The Indian Railways, http://irctc.co.in, runs a website which allows passengers to manage their railway bookings. This site allows you, from anywhere across the world, to select a train on a particular date and book your tickets. Even payments are made online and tickets printed on your local printer. This site uses a very important feature of web technology and significant to our understanding of communication using the web. Let us take a specific case of ticket booking to understand this better. Let us say a passenger logged into this site from Tokyo wishes to buy a ticket from Kolkata to Delhi on a particular date. He/she only has information about the locations and the date. He/she feeds in this data into a form and the website responds back with the various possible trains, availability of seats in various classes, along with the timings of the train. He/she makes his/her choice of train, fills in his/her personal details and seeks a booking. The website seeks a confirmation and passes him/her onto a payment gateway. He/she uses a credit card to pay, and when the payment is confirmed, the website displays his/her confirmed ticket, which he/she can print and use. The process looks pretty straightforward. If you were a website designer, you could make different pages for each of the functions of this site: one for selection of trains, one for showing availability, one for filling up personal details, and so on. Now consider these facts. Indian Railways operates about 9,000 passenger trains and transports 18 million passengers daily across 28 states and 1 union territory. A standard passenger train consists of 18 coaches. But some popular trains can have up to 24 coaches. Coaches are designed to accommodate anywhere from 18 to 81 passengers, but during the holiday seasons or when on busy routes, more passengers may travel in a coach. From http://.wikipedia.org/wiki/Indian_Railways right parenthesis dot about 12,500 people are being booked each minute. And each of these passengers is seeking a ticket for any one of the 9,000 trains for any of the stations which the train goes through. And the website offers choices of different classes of travel, choice of berths, and concessions for different categories of people. Indian Railways allows you to book a ticket 60 days in advance. So, on any day, you can book a ticket for a train on any one of those 60 different dates. Further, each day, the first day is removed from the list and the 61st day added, if each possibility were to be a well-made, universally accessible, well-decorated, and functional website is a pleasurable experience to the visitor. But more importantly, the visitor has come to your site seeking some information and resources. Factors related to the content and its presentation also have an important role to play. What are the factors which need to be considered to evaluate a website? Some of these are as follows: 1. Relevance of the content. The fine organization of content and ensuring up to date content is very essential. 2. Validity of the content. The authenticity and trustworthiness of content increases visitors. 3. Dynamic content. Sites could host sets of frequently asked questions, FAQ, or forums seeking to redress student queries. Timely and valid responses improve visitor satisfaction. 4. Presentation of content, language, typography, font, text size, color, positioning of text. The balance between images and text have an effect on the visitor's desire to stand and stare. Of course, there is a fine balance between just doing it right and overdoing it. While what colors and presentation style you use is strictly a personal choice, you would do well to know what your visitors desire. 5. Hyperlinks and navigation. Hyperlinks can be the gateway to a rich, deep website. It can also be an abyss into which a visitor falls. Where do you use a link? What is its purpose? What happens when the user clicks on a link? How do you guide the user back? Etc. will play an important role in defining and effectively using hyperlinks. 6. User friendliness. A straightforward presentation with simple, intuitive navigation can make the site user-friendly and help the user move around and access content on the website easily. 7. Images, graphics, pictures, moving graphics, video are all possible on a website. Use them with purpose, use them with discretion, and use them to communicate. While the above list is useful to evaluate any website, an educational website would have additional factors associated with the pedagogical slant preferred by you. If you prefer, say, an interactive forum where students discuss and debate issues under your guidance, a moderated discussion. If you prefer, students submit assignments online and your feedback is available publicly. If you wish to provide a one-to-one tutorial support to students, then you are designing web pages which have a definite purpose and functionality. Automatically, they are then to be evaluated for how effectively they deliver on this promise. There are a number of technological aspects of web design and programming which has a bearing on how websites are developed and deployed. But as these are beyond the control of a non-technical person, we have concentrated on design aspects which an educator can modify. Develop a checklist of your website's features. You may then use this to obtain feedback from the visitors or a select group of users. Constantly review your site and update its design to meet your visitors' requirements and effectively communicate your content. 15.6 Summary. In this unit we studied how to create website. We list a summary of the unit below. Times the World Wide Web has evolved into a dynamic, collaborative medium with a wide range of applications which have enormous potential for education. Times a website is a thematic collection of information and content weaved together with a common design and placed on a server in the form of hyperlinked pages and software programs. Each website is accessed through a unique address called its URL. Times a hyperlink is one of the most significant features of the web. It allows one to navigate from one page to another page or a particular section of another page. Times a good navigation design helps the visitor to the website to keep tab on where they are, on which web page, and what is the relationship of this page to the rest of the website. Times websites can contain not only text but also images, audio, and video, apart from special software which enhance the capability of web pages. Browsers may require additional plugin software to display images or play back audio and video files. Times rich graphics can enhance the visual appeal of a site, but it also increases file size, making its access slow. websites which have to deliver a large number of customized web pages simultaneously to a large number of clients use dynamic pages supported by databases. The web pages communicate with the database using SQL, serving responses to the queries of clients. Times web pages use the hypertext markup language HTML to communicate information from the server to the client. Scripts and other software programs are used to enhance the range of functionality of web pages. Times HTML consists of tags, which are the basic codes required for formatting and displaying content. Each tag can have additional attributes which extend its functionality. Times WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. HTML editors help you develop web pages and organize them into websites. Times universal access to the world's knowledge is the primary objective of the World Wide Web. Guidelines of design and deployment have been developed to ensure that all people, including those with disabilities, for example the blind, can also access the content on the web. Times while a web page and a website can be manually created by writing the HTML code and organizing content, a number of ready-made web containers are also available. Content management systems can facilitate the design and rapid development of websites. Some CMAs can have advanced facilities like chats, blogs, or wikis. Times a domain name is a unique name assigned to a website. It is of the form mywebsite.com, where com is the top-level domain and mywebsite is the second level. Different top-level domains indicate different types of websites. The assignment of domain names is governed by the International Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, ICANN. Times a URL is of the form http://mywebsite.com/myfolder/mypage.htm and provides the entire path and file name of each web page. Times placing a website on the World Wide Web involves parking a domain name and connecting it with the index or home page of the website. The entire site consisting of the web pages and related content, images, scripts, and any specialized software and/or database is hosted, placed on a server which is connected to the internet and hence is accessible to the public all the time. Times criteria for the evaluation of educational websites can be evolved based on the content, design, functionality, and usage of different features of the website. Its relevance, validity, authenticity, constant updating, presentation, navigation, and user-friendliness can be used for rating a website. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.